Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome to a new lesson, mm, the language of Quran, and it's lesson 6. And today we are going to learn about Ismul Ishara and Ismul Mosul and Mudaf ilal Marifa. So let's start. Okay, as we already studied, I told you about Ism and its four characteristics, At-Tarif, Al-Adad, Al-Jins, and Al-I'rab. So, and we also know that their types, so we have already learned about them. The first type, At-Tarif, has Marfa and two kinds, Marfa and Nakira. And in Marfa, we have 7 kinds of nouns. And today we are going to cover Ismul Ishara, Ism Mosul, and Al Mudaf ila Marifa. Okay, let's start with Ism Al Ishara. So, what's Ism Al Ishara? Just like in English, there are some pointing words in Arabic as well, and they are called Ism Al Ishara in Arabic. So, what are these? There's a chart, and it's really easy to remember, easy to learn, and easy to remember. This is a chart for Ism Ishara, and it has 3 kinds of words, Wahid, Musanna, and Jama, for the objects which are close to us and for the objects which are away from us. So let's see. Kareeb means the close, and this is the chart for those objects which are close to us, and Ba'id is those objects which are away from us. So first, Wahid, that's Mufrad. For Muzakkar, it is Haza. Haza means this for Muzakkar. For the Musanna, it's Hazani, these two. And for Jama, it's Haulai, these all, or more than 2. Again, for Kareeb, Monas means those objects which are feminine objects or which are considered as feminine and which are close to us. It has Hazihi for Mufrad. Hazihi means this. Hatani, these two. And Haulai, these or these all. So this is the chart for Kareeb objects, whether they are Muzakkar or Monas. Haza, Hazani, Haulai. Hazihi, Hatani, Haulai. Haza, Hazani, Haulai. Hazihi, Hatani, Haulai. Wahid, Musanna, and Jama. Again, for objects which are not close to us or which are far from us, we have 6 words to explain them. Muzakkar and Monas again, the 3 for Muzakkar and 3 for Monas. Zalika, that. Zanika, those two. Or Ulaika, those all. For Monas, Tilka, that. Tanika, those two female or those two objects which are considered as feminine, and Ulaika, those all. So this is the complete chart for Ismul Ishara, the pointing words in Arabic. So in Arabic, the words which are used to point at something are called Ismul Ishara. Let's read the chart again. And please keep repeating this chart until you remember all these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 words altogether. 6 are for Kareeb objects and 6 are for Ba'id objects. Haza, Hazani, Haulai, Hazihi, Hatani, Haulai, Zalika, Zanika, Ulaika, Tilka, Tanika, Ulaika. So this is Ismul Ishara or the pointing words in Arabic. And they are used for the masculine and the feminine gender. Okay, that's another example. See here, as we know that the kitab is there is no sign of or visual sign which shows that this is a feminine word. So we will consider it as a masculine word, and with the masculine we are using haza here. And as you know that haza is used for the Kareeb objects. Haza kitabun. As I told you, this is the mufrad word. So the mufrad, that masculine, we are going to put haza, and this double dhamma is showing us that this is nakira noun. And as I told you, all the nouns which are in the default, which are their default state is rafa. So this is double dhammas here. Haza kitabun. This is a book, and this is used for the objects which are closer to us and singular objects. Haza kitabun. Here it is zalikal kitabu, zalikal kitabu, that book. Zalikal kitabu, that book. As I told you, zalika is used for the objects which are ba'id, which are far from us. And as you know that kitab is a singular noun, so we are using the singular form of the ismul ishara, and that is zalika. And as it is, we are talking about an object which is far from us, which is ba'id, we are using the form which is used for the far objects, and that is zalik for the mufrad objects. So, Haza Kitabun, this is a book that is a complete sentence. And here the Ismul Ishara is Haza, the pointer word. Okay, so what we are going to call the word which we are pointing to, that is called in Arabic Musharun Ilayhi. Musharun Ilayhi, and that is Kitab. The word which is used as a pointer is called Ismul Ishara, and the word which or the object which is pointed at or which we are pointing to is musharun ilay, and in this case it is kitab. Haza kitabun. Haza is ismul ishara, kitabun is musharun ilay. Ismul ishara and musharun ilay, they are combined to give us a complete sentence. This is a book. This is a book. A complete sentence. The next example you have seen, it is Zalikal Kitabu, that book. Zalikal Kitabu, that book. You can notice here that this is an incomplete sentence. And why it is incomplete sentence? Because this their al is not the al between the object and the ismul ishara is making it an incomplete sentence. And just note that it has this prefix al is not completing the sentence, and no difference between phrases, because this will be a phrase. It is not a complete sentence. We are going to discuss it in the next lessons when we will study types of sentences. So here haza kitabun and zalikal kitabu. Haza kitabun, this is a book, and zalikal kitabu, that book. Okay, so here the pointing words are haza and zalika, that are ismul ishara in the sentence, and musharun ilay is here is kitabun, again in the kitab. In the next example, it is kitab again. So ismul ishara is the pointer word, and musharun ilay is the object that is pointed at. Okay, so One more rule I want to tell you is that when musharraf ilay. Okay, we'll leave it for now, and I will tell you this rule sometimes later. Let's have Mosul for now, because that concept will be little tough for now. So okay, let's start with Ism Mosul. Okay, so what's an Ism Mosul? Okay, relative pronoun. All the relative pronouns in Arabic are called Ism al-Mosul, and it is a word used for a noun or after a noun that can be a person or thing we are talking about to make it clear or to modify the information about that thing or that person. Okay, and there are six types of Ism Mosul in Arabic. Again, for three are for Muzakkar and three are for Monas. The Muzakkar chart contains the Mufrad, Musanna, and Jama form, and in the same way for Monas, we use the Mufrad, Musanna, and the Jama form. And they are, let's read, for Muzakkar, Allazi, Allazani, Allazina. For Monas, Allati, Allatani, Allati. Allazi is he who. It is used for Mufrad. Musanna form is alladani, those two, those two, and allazina, those who, and they are more than. This is used for more than two, all. And for monas, allati, she who, allatani, those two who, allati is those who, all for feminine. الذي اللذان اللذين التي اللتان اللاتي. Let's repeat. الذي اللذان اللذين التي اللتان اللاتي. الذي اللذان اللذين التي اللتان اللاتي. Okay, let's see some examples from Quran. فإن لم تفعلوا ولن تفعلوا فاتقوا النار التي وقودها الناس والحجارة أعدت للكافرين. But if you are unable to do so and you will never be able to do so, then fear the fire fueled with people and stones which is prepared for the disbelievers. So here, allati, allati. Fear the fire fueled with people and stones. So here, allati. فَاتَّقُوا النَّارَ الَّتِي. Okay, so here allati is used for nar. Here, which is which. So this is giving more information about the word fire here, the relative pronoun, which is allati. In the same way, allazina, as I told you, allazina is used for more than two. Allazina amanu wa amilu salihati tuba lahum wa husnu ma'ab. Here, allazina, those who, those who. As for your woman, wallahi yaisna min al-mahidi, and so on. Here, as for your women. Here, more than two women. So these are the examples from Quran. Allati, allazina, allati. They are all the examples of relative pronouns. Okay, so What are ism mawsuls? Ism mawsuls are those pronouns which are used for a noun, and that can be a person or thing, and which makes it more clear, or which modify the information about that word or that person or that thing. They all are called ism mawsul in Arabic, the relative pronouns. Allazi, allazani, allazina, allati, allatani, allat. Okay, so what's next? It is المضاف إلى معرفة. المضاف إلى معرفة. The possessive phrase is a combination of two nouns in which the first noun is owned by or in possession of the second noun. The construction is said to be al-murakkabul idafi. Idafa, it is called idafa. Okay. So what is it? A possessive phrase. What is a possessive phrase? So in which one noun is possessed by or in the possession of another noun, and it is called murakkab izafi, or the a compound word which contains two words and which shows possession, and the construction is called in Arabic al-murakkabul izafi. Al-murakkabul izafi. Okay, so what are the two components of al-murakkab al-idafi? Let's see. There are two components, al-mudaf and al-mudaf ilay. Al-mudaf and al-mudaf ilay. Okay. So what is a mudaf and what is mudaf ilay? Okay, so al-mudaf is the first noun is called the al-mudaf, the noun which is possessed. It will always be an indefinite or a common noun and will never have the article al or tanween with it. What is al-mudaf? There are two, as I told you, this phrase, this combination of the words or the compound word is called murakkab idafi, has two components, al-mudaf and al-mudaf ilay. Okay, as we know that this idafa construction is the construction, just like in English, it is a construction of possessive nouns. One is the possessor and the other one is the possessed. Okay, so what are the two components of the idafa construction? Al-mudaf and al-mudaf ilay. What is al-mudaf? This is the first noun and it is called al-mudaf, the noun which is possessed. It will always be an indefinite common noun and will never have the article al or tanween with it. How to find it out? It will never have the article al or tanween on it, and it will always be indefinite or a common noun. When the mudaf, there are some changes or there are some rules when it can become a marfa noun that we are going to study. But for now, just for the general rule, it will always be indefinite. It will never have al or tanween on it. And what is mudaf ilayhi? Okay, so mudaf ilayhi is the possessor, the one which is possessing the noun. Okay, it is the second noun is called that mudaf ilayhi, the possessor, and it is generally not always a proper noun or is specified by prefixing al. It will always have a kasra to its last letter. Remember that it will always have a kasra on its last letter. So this complete murakkabul al-idafi or the idafa construction can be nakira or it can be marifa. Okay, let me share a new screen with you. Get the notes. Okay, see here. So what are the examples of the idafa construction? First example is narullahi. Okay, the first example is narullahi. Okay, so what is narullahi? Allah's fire, or fire of Allah. This is actually, this possession is the construction of the words. It contains two words. One is mudaf and the other one is mudaf ilayhi. So as I told you, the first noun will be a mudaf and the second noun will be mudaf ilayhi. So here nar, the fire, and Allah, he see here the mudaf ilayhi, as I told you, it will always be in the state of jar, in the state of jar, because it will always have a kasra. Narullahi, fire of Allah. You can say that idafa construction always have of between the two words, between its mudaf and the mudaf ilayh. Fire of Allah. Second example, Rasulullahi, Allah's prophet, or you can say prophet of Allah. The of construction, the of formation is showing us that this is an idafa construction, and it will always have two components, mudaf and mudaf ilayh. Next example is Nasrullahi. Look at all the kasras here. They are showing that this is mudaf ilayh because it has a al, and it is in the state of jar. Allah's help. Nasrullahi, Allah's help, or you can say help of Allah. Hadithul Junudi. The. Here, see again the kasra, the al, it is a mudaf ilayh. The story of the armies. Hadithul Junudi, the story of the armies. Okay, look here. This is the mudaf and this is the mudaf ilayh. Hizbush Shaitani, again see the kasra here for mudaf ilayh, and look here, there is no tanween or no al attached with the mudaf. Hizbush Shaitani, the group of Satans. Sahibul Huti, Sahibul Huti. Again, look at the mudaf ilayh, it is containing a kasra, and look at mudaf, no al or no tanween here. Sahibul Hudi. These type of phrase which contains two words in the form, in the construction of, and it has two components as I told you, mudaf and mudaf ilayh. This phrase or this construction is called an idafa construction or murakkabul idafi in Arabic. The last one is Yomul Fasli, the day of decision. The day of decision. Yomul Fasli. Again, notice the kasra here to the mudaf ilayh, and there is no al or tanween attached to the mudaf. So, Narullahi, Rasulullahi, Nasrullahi, Hadithul Junudi, Hizbul Shaitani, Sahibul Huti, Yawmul Fasli. Look at all these phrases. They are all al-murakkab idafi. They are idafa constructions because they are showing us that these two words have the relationship of a mudaf and mudaf ilayhi. They have the construction of arrangement with them, and they are showing some kind of possession between them. So all the phrases which shows possession which are all the idafa construction, and they have two components, mudaf and mudaf ilayh. Mudaf ilayh will always have a kasra. It will be always majroor, or you can say it is in the state of jar, and the mudaf will never have will never have tanween on it. Okay, so yes, as I told you in English, the possession denoted by the apostrophe or by the use of the word of. And we have already done many examples like Rasulullahi, the messenger of Allah, or Allah's messenger. There are two ways to write the idafa construction in English. Either you can use apostrophe s or by the use of. Okay, okay, now we can have this rule. Okay, so this is so the first noun is called the mudaf, as I told you, and when the mudaf is attached to a definite or the marifa mudaf ilay, it will be considered definite too. As I told you, it will always be in nakira form. It will not have al, it will not have tanween, but when it is attached to a definite or a marifa mudaf ilay, it will be considered a definite noun as well. For example, Baytullahi, house of Allah or Allah's house. Note that the word Allah is definite and it is a definite mudaf ilayh. So, in the above example, we will consider mudaf a definite mudaf. So, that mudaf which is converted into a definite noun is called al mudaf ila ma'rifa because it becomes a marifa, that mudaf which becomes a marifa due to a mudaf ilayhi, which is a definite noun. That mudaf ilayhi is converting the indefinite mudaf into a definite mudaf. So in this construction, because the mudaf ilayhi, the word Allah Lafzul Jalala is definite noun, it is making this nakira noun a definite mudaf. Otherwise, it doesn't have al and it doesn't have any. As I told you, there are two things that you will notice in mudaf, that it will not have al, it will not have double damas or tanween. But one thing that this definite mudaf ilay is making it a definite mudaf. So this construction will be called al-mudaf ila marifa. Though it is an idafa construction, al-murakkab idafi, but because it is a definite construction, it will be called al-mudaf ila marifa. Hope you have understood this concept, and if you will keep if you will keep revising, you will be much more familiar with this topic. And as I told you, I always share my notes and the video links in my Telegram group, Telegram channel, and the link is always given in the description of the video. There are some more definite constructions with singular mudaf. Okay, when the mudaf is singular, obviously we are going to have some look in the musanna and jama mudaf as well. But right now, these examples all have a singular mudaf. Okay, so examples of the marifa constructions when we have a marifa constructions when we have a mudaf ilayhi, which is a definite noun. The mudaf ilayhi is the second part of a idafa construction. Mudaf ilayhi is our second part of our idafa construction. So here this is actually the marifa construction with the wahid or mufrad mudaf, and the mudaf ilayhi is definite here or marifa here. Look at this. Hamid's book, Kitabu Hamidin. As we know that this is the phrase with the word of, or with the in English we can have apostrophe s, or we can put of. So it can we can say that the book of Hamid, Kitabu Hamidin. Look at the kasra here. As I told you, the mudaf ilayhi will always be in the state of jar, or it is majroor. It will have a kasra, and the mudaf will never have al. It will never have tanween. But we can have tanween in mudaf ilayhi. Kitabu Hamidin. Kitabu Hamidin. Hamid's book, or the book of Hamid. And why I'm saying the book, because now because of Hamid, book is converted into definite from indefinite noun. As I told you, that this construction is also called as al-mudaf ila ma'rifa. The next example is Zed's wealth, Malu Zaidin. Malu Zaidin. Zed's wealth, or wealth of Zed. Look here again. No al, no tanween to mudaf, and again the mudaf ilayhi is in the state of jar. Key of the door. Miftahul Babi. Miftahul Babi. Look at this phrase again. No al attached to mudaf, no tanween to the mudaf, and we have a kasra in the end of mudaf. So it is in the state of jar. Key of the door, or door's key. Door's key. Key of the door. Daul Kamari. Daul Kamari, the light of the moon. Again, the moon's light, or the light of the moon. Look here. No al, no tanween to the mudaf, and al mudaf ilayhi is having a kasra here. The masjid's door, or the door of the masjid. Babul Masjidi. Babul Masjidi. No al, no tanween to the mudaf, the first part of the idafa construction. And again, the mudaf ilayhi is in the state of jar. Okay, in the same way, we have many examples here. You can read at your own pace, at your home, and as I'll be sharing the document, you can read all the examples, and you can find more examples. And inshallah, in the next class, we'll try to find this idafa construction in the Quran, inshallah ta'ala. I'll see if I can find, or maybe I have some examples here from the Quran, but we will. Okay, yes, we'll do some examples from the Quran as well. Okay, we are done with this. Okay, let's have this rule. It is an important rule as well. Okay, see here, if the musharun ilayhi, as I told you, as we have already studied about the ismul ishara and musharun ilayhi, this is also a phrase in which there are two components again, the ismul ishara and musharun ilayhi. The word ismul ishara is the pointer word, and in musharun ilayhi is the word which we are pointing to. So let's combine it with the idafa construction. Okay. So now we have two phrases, two constructions. One is the ismul ishara and musharun ilayhi, the ism ishara construction, and the other one is the idafa construction, the mudaf and the mudaf ilayhi. Ismul ishara and the musharun ilayhi, mudaf and the mudaf ilayhi. So if the musharun ilayhi, the word we are pointing to, is mudaf, then ismul ishara will come after mudaf ilayhi. Look at this. I know that it's quite confusing, but with the example, it will be more clear. Example here is kamisi haza. This construction is, or this sentence is taken from Surah Yusuf. I forgot to quote here the ayah. Inshallah, I will try to do it. I'll try to edit the note here. Kamisi haza, this shirt of mine, or my shirt. This kamisi haza, this shirt of mine. Look here. So, as you know that here kamisi haza, here kamisi is the idafa construction. How? My shirt, shirt of mine, shirt of mine. And as you know that this kameez is the mudaf, and here, yeah, my here is the mudaf ilay here. So here, as I told you, if the musharan ilay is mudaf, because you know that we are trying to say this shirt. So here, mudaf, we want to attach the ismul ishara with the mudaf. So it will come in the end of the phrase. Will come in the end of the phrase. When you see an ismul ishara in the end of this kind of phrase, you will automatically under, understand that this ismul ishara is pointing to the mudaf. This if the musharun ilay is mudaf. So this ismul ishara is pointing towards the mudaf. Attach this ismul ishara to the mudaf, it becomes this shirt. This shirt. Okay, and continue with the rest. Of mine. Of mine. This shirt of mine. This ismul ishara in the end is showing us that this is connected with the mudaf. It is connected with the mudaf, right? Okay, just keep practicing, try to do this at home and do it by yourself, so you will understand that how this construction is made. This pointing word ismul ishara in the end is pointing toward because the position it is position in the end of the sentence, it is showing this is connected with the mudaf. Okay, now let's see another example where if the musharun alay is mudaf ilay. Okay, now we are pointing towards the mudaf ilay. So where will the ishara will come? It will now come in the middle of the phrase. Now this is the difference. When the mudaf is a musharun ilay, the ism ishara will come in the end of the sentence. And when the mudaf ilay is a musharun ilay, the ism ishara will come in the middle of the phrase. Like this, Kitabu hazihil binti. Kitabu hazihil binti. Now here we want to focus on, or we want to point on to the mudaf ilayhi, and when the mudaf ilayhi is the musharun ilayhi, we are going to put the ismul ishara in the middle of the phrase, in the middle of the two components of the idafa construction. That is, one is mudaf and the other one is mudaf ilayhi. So when the mudaf ilayhi is a musharun ilayhi, we are going to put the ismul ishara in the middle of our phrase. This girl's Hazihil Binti, this girl's book, or book of this girl, book of this girl. So I know that because it's your first time reading this kind of rules, I know that it's quite confusing, but you try to read the slide one or two times or three or four times until you understand this concept. So you will get the point that how this construction, these two constructions are made. There is one other rule. Sometimes there are more than one idafa construction in one phrase. And in such a case, the noun in the middle, being the mudaf ilayh of the first noun, will always take the kasra. Why? It will always take the kasra, and being the mudaf of the last noun will never take al or tanween, because it is the mudaf ilayh to the first noun, and because it is the mudaf to the third noun, it will have the kasra because it is attached to the first noun. The first noun is mudaf, and because it is the mudaf ilayh to the first noun, it will have the kasra. And why we are not putting here the tanween and the al? Why? Why? As we know that the rule of the mudaf. The mudaf rule is it will never have kasra, sorry, it will never have al, and it will never have tanween. So because now it is also now in this example, it is also a mudaf to this mudaf ilayh. To the last third noun, this mudaf ilayh. So it is this yawm is playing both the roles of mudaf and the role of mudaf ilayh. Because as I told you, sometimes there are more than one idafa construction in one phrase. Here you see two idafa constructions, maliki yawmi and yawmiddin. There are two. So the middle one is playing the role of a mudaf and the mudaf ilayh at the same time. So it will follow the rules of both mudaf and mudaf ilayh. First, because of being a mudaf ilayh, it will get a kasra. And now because now it is playing a role of mudaf, for this mudaf ilayh, it will follow the rule of mudaf as well, and it will not have an al or the tanween. Okay, so Maliki Yawmiddin, the master of the day of the judgment. So you see here two idafa constructions here. One is Maliki Yawmi and the other one is Yawmiddin. So sometime, and there are many more constructions we are going to learn, but for today we studied about two rules about ismul, when the two um, types of phrases are combined, ismul ishara and musharun alayhi, and mudaf alayhi are combined. So how we are going to construct those phrases, and again when we are going to have two idafa constructions, how we are going to uh, those constructions and so on. So I think that's clear for now. Uh, so we read about Ismul Ishara today, and we read about Ismul Mosul today, and we read about the Idafa constructions, and it has, as I told you, it has two components, the Mudaf and the Mudaf ilayh. Um, let me see. So you here you can see mudaf ilayh can also be in the form of a pronoun. However, the pronoun will not bear a kasra on it. Examples we can do. Let's see this like in you can read all the examples from the notes, and I will be sharing these notes in my telegram. وَإِن تَصْبِرُوا وَتَتَّقُوا لَا يَضُرُّكُمْ كَيْدُهُمْ شَيْئًا. This is again an idafa construction. This is the mudaf and this is the mudaf ilayh. As I told you, the pronouns can also be mudaf ilayh, but they will not bear a kasra. Maluhu, here, see here, this is again his wealth or the wealth of his, and because this is a pronoun, it is not having a kasra. Waliyuhuma, again, huma, it is not having a kasra. So there are many rules about mudaf and mudaf ilayh. Oh yes, there are some. As I told you, we'll be doing some idafi constructions from the Quran as well. Look at this, Kitabullahi, Allah's book or book of Allah. Kitabullahi, mudaf ilayh having kasra, mudaf having no al or tanween. Rasulullahi, Mudaf ilayhi having a kasra, mudaf having no al or tanween. Allah's messenger. Rahmatullahi, Allah's mercy, mercy of Allah. Sabilullahi, the path of Allah. Look here, mudaf ilayhi again in having a kasra, and mudaf, it doesn't have an al or a tanween. And just like that, there are so many examples that we can find in Quran. You can open the Musaf and you can highlight all these examples in your Musaf. And, and I'll tell you one thing, when I started learning Arabic, and when I started learning the rules, these small constructions, these phrases, and everything, I used to have, and still now I have so many highlighters, and I have a Musaf in which I used to highlight like Idafa constructions with the green highlighter, and like if I see Ismul Ishara and Mushara Alai, I used to highlight them with the pink highlighters, and just like that, and it goes on. Every time I find a rule, whenever I studied a new rule, I used to highlight it with a different marker or a pen or a different highlighter in my Musaf, so that next time I will open the Musaf, so it will be much more clearer. All the rules that I study so far, they are all I used to practice them from my Musaf, so you can do the same. Like whenever you find a feminine noun, you can highlight it or you can underline it, or you can mark it with your favorite color, and just like that. And so on, you can do it as long as you can do. And on the first page, I used to make a key, like I used to write down that all the Idafa constructions are with the orange marker or with the pink highlighter, and just like that, I used to make key points on the first page of my Musaf or any book or any tafsir book I used to read. And still now, I used to do these kind of things in my Musaf and my other books. So you can do the same thing. And I think it is the most practical way to memorize all the rules that we are learning, because every time, whether you are studying biology or you are doing engineering or you are doing business, what is the best thing to remember all the rules or all the definitions or everything? You have to apply those rules. You have to do practical. If you are doing biology, you have to go in the laboratories to do the practicals. In the engineering, you have to go to the workshops to apply those rules and whatever you are learning. So in the same way, Arabic is a science. If you are learning any rule, please go and find that rule in your Musaf. This is the best thing to apply. This is the best thing. I'm telling you, it might be that, like today's topic, Ismul Ishara, Ism Mosul, Idafa Kasar. I know it's very difficult to learn in just one class, but uh, go through the notes, and I have shared the ayat and the examples with you with the references of the ayat numbers. Go find them in your Quran, in your Musaf, highlight them, write them that this is the Idafa construction, write them that this is Ismul Ishara and Mushara, like go write that this is Ism Mosul, and just like that, whatever you are learning, go find out the signs of Ism, find all the feminine nouns and the masculine nouns, whatever you are studying, whatever you have studied so far with me, just go and do it practically. Go find it in the Quran. Just go and do it. Just go through your Musaf. So then you will see that it will be very easy for you to remember all these rules, all these examples, all these exceptions. and everything. It will become very easy for you to remember each and every rule. Okay, so I think we should end the lecture here, and I'll see you all in my next lesson, inshallah. And please, I hope um you will go, and after this class, you will go and open your Musaf and highlight all the Idafa constructions and the examples of Ismul Ishara and Isharun Ilay and Ism Mosul in your Quran. Okay, so Barakallahu fikum. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. I'll see you all in my next lesson, inshallah ta'ala.